Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. New way to make fun of Game Freak. Next time, we open with I don't even remember the name of the electric type. Oh, Iono's greeting. Sue me. I didn't have time to look it up during the countdown. Hello and welcome to Gaming Knuckleheads Talk. And as you can see, there are no hurricanes in Florida and we are still alive.
Mm-hmm.
You may all save your disappointment.
All right, let me look out the window real quick.
A lovely view of a tree for all the viewers, as you can see out of the corner. I'm playing around with the webcam mirroring features to see if I can not like have everything backwards every time. Well, son of a bitch, it didn't work. All right, so our first topic of the night: game tutorials. Now, this isn't exactly something that's been kicking around in my head, but I was spontaneously reminded yesterday of that one video by Ego Raptor where he was making fun of that one Mega Man tutorial where it like stops the game. Literally stops the gameplay and makes you go through the dialogue just to learn the controls. I mean, it's like
Mega Man game, was it?
I forget. But anyway, the point is like I can see why people would be like, I don't want to play this now. You know? I mean, that's a Pokemon Sun and Moon cutscene waiting to happen. And that got me thinking. This is a spontaneous thought in my head from remembering those videos. What makes a good tutorial and what makes a bad tutorial? Because let's face it, instruction booklets are a thing of the past. And back then, with the exception of a fighting game, that was really all the tutorial you needed. You flip through the pages, you look up the controls, you're good to go. Even during the DS and Wii era, it was that simple.
Well, I mean, really depends on whether we're talking consoles or PC.
I think instruction booklets in PC games died with the death of the floppy disk.
Yeah.
I agree.
Anyway, but yeah, I mean, the days of instructions booklets are long past us. You can argue it's the advent of the internet. You can also argue that it's just like, oh, hey, technology. Or so, no, laziness. Developers want to save money on paper. That's what I'm thinking. Where am I head at? But yeah, because like, to me, you know, a good tutorial can be something as simple as, say, a game with voice acting. Why freeze the game, have you scroll through the dialogue, when you can be playing the game and the characters can be talking in the background? It's like, you know, like say, like take like a run and gun. You're running along. If you suddenly hear a character voice say, as you can see, you're coming up to a rock. Press the button to jump. You're still playing the game. You can hear the vocalization and or see the text box if it's got, you know, like subtitles in it. You're learning how to play while you play. It's like, I tried the Europa demo today. It's like very simple to understand. You're running around and prompts are popping up telling you how to play. Right? What this control does, how to do this. Oh, you can use this feature, you know? I just kept getting turned around because it basically like Breath of the Wild. Too open, too easy to get lost.
Well, maybe they want you to get lost in that game.
It's like these games want to contend with Myst. And don't get me wrong, I love Myst. I just hate the whole where the fuck do I go aesthetic that the game has. Good times. Good times. Yeah, I count at least one typographical error. What is holding your hold exactly?
I think they mean holding your hand.
I know what he means. I'm just fucking with him. I've known the guy since high school. Come on, let me have my fun. Let me have my fun. Smile for the camera, steak boy. Yeah, no, he's not on webcam. No, anyway, but yeah, I mean, Mega Man X, like, oh, Ego Raptor talked about that in that video too. Like, you're learning as you play.
Mhm.
And bear in mind, for like people watching later and going in the comments, bad tutorial does not automatically mean like, oh, gaming journalists bitching because they can't complete a level. I mean, even I could complete the Cuphead tutorial.
Mhm.
I'm just notoriously bad at learning the boss patterns.
Mhm.
Yeah. But that one, that's an example of simplicity too. I mean, that's some Wario Land shake it like that. You know?
Mhm.
Here's in a minute. It's just like you're going through the stage. Here's a little sign that tells you what to do. Has a little illustration. You can even get some Shazam vibes out of that. Anyway, Kane says, as for bad, definitely one that interrupts the flow of gameplay or introduces too much information to the player at one time.
Mhm.
And to that, I say, again, Pokemon Sun and Moon cutscene waiting to happen.
Mhm.
All right. Should I mess with him by singing the Beatles? I want to hold your hand. Not literally. I'm just fucking around. I gotta have my fun. Huh? Anyway, but yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, hand holding, I think it's like it's one thing to say, hey, this is how you do it, you know?
Mhm.
Like, but hardcore hand holding the way Pokemon is pretty much like a guided tour in Alola. It's
Mhm.
like that is like, was the whole game one big tutorial? Because nobody holds hands like Game Freak.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Mhm.
And they don't got that something, and we don't understand.
And it doesn't matter how many times you play the game, no matter if you start a new game, they always gonna have you go through that tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to learn how to catch Pokemon. No, you can't skip this tutorial. Fuck you. Please don't do
Yeah.
all over my guitar. I made that mistake. I made that mistake 2 years ago.
No, it wasn't a big thing.
It was close.
Close enough.
Close enough. But yeah, I mean, seriously. That was the last Beatles joke, I swear.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. I think
Yellow Submarine.
if it's a complex game, it does need
Cool, lady.
a good tutorial, but the tutorial should be optional for when you replay it and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that.
Speaking of optional, Princess Peach Showtime, every time a new set of controls comes up, there's like a blinking light in the bottom corner that says press this button to hear the controls. And while you do have to navigate through the dialogue, it's completely optional. You don't have to press the button and have Stella give you the spiel.
Yeah.
You can try to figure it out for you. But when I was playing the demo, I didn't know that when you transform, you can strike a pose. And that was where one of the sparkle gems in Castle of Thorns was hidden.
Mhm.
And I look back on a video walkthrough, and I see a hidden area being accessed by the person playing, doing a video of the demo.
Mhm.
So I replayed the stage, and I saw like this little prompt pop up. I pressed it, and it told me how to strike the pose. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean that right there is like optional tutorial level. You want to figure it out for yourself, you can. You want to know what's what, you just press a button, and Stella will tell you. Stella will give you, Stella will give you the information.
Yeah, and again, I think it's also important to consider like the target demographic for the game.
Yeah.
Like as in if it's like kids or teens or adults or everybody.
I can understand a game being more handholdy if it was more for kids, giving
Mhm.
them the actual ability to learn how to play.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I swear the spam bots on Instagram threads are getting more ridiculous with how they try to hide their identities.
Mhm.
One place in the world where you can advertise your prawn and it won't be moderated. Because Meta just put that up and they forgot it existed.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I am not making this shit up.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's like, I mean, Brent, you've been awfully silent on the tutorial portion. Is there something you'd like to share with the class?
I'm just letting you guys talk first, and then I talk last. You know how this goes.
It's like when we order at a restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Because everybody else ordered first, and then he ordered, then he places his order.
Hey, the man has good manners. What can I say?
Yes?
And he hangs around with a bunch of animals like us.
Yes, I do.
Okay, what are your thoughts for real, though?
But in my opinion, for tutorials, two in particular I feel is like that they should follow. One is that it should be like there should be an option to do it, like especially for like replay value, as Matt says. Like if you need to do it the first time, that's fine. But if you go through it again and you have it's appearing again, you should definitely have the option to skip it. The other one is if it happens like seamlessly, like as you're going through, like if you're going through a game. Like most recent examples I can think of are, one example is like Metroid Prime, particularly like I've been playing through the remaster. First level, it literally tells you, like gives you the tutorial, but it never stops it. It gives you like heads up display, like tell you what to press in order to do stuff without stopping the flow of the game.
Yeah. And speaking of like, not stopping the flow of the game, going back to like playing the Europa demo, it actually has a really great atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't figured out exactly what it's about,
Mm-hmm.
And I watched this morning because I wasn't even aware of it yesterday, the indie showcase, and it's like the developer talked a little bit about it and like showcased a trailer, but it just mostly showed a lot of the bare basics that I was going through in the demo,
Mm-hmm.
To me, it looks like a Ghibli movie.
Yeah, it's got that watercolor aesthetic to it. Got some really like soothing type music.
Yeah.
I was sitting on the armchair in the other room. This one was listening in on the voice acting and the music.
Yeah, I think
I can see you, Little Miss Grumpy Pants.
Who's grumpy?
Smile.
Hey, tell that to the person who doesn't smile for her pictures. Tell her the moment she smiles.
Do you like birds?
Which one? The middle kind?
Oh, sure. Spoil all my fun. Oh, seriously, I'll just be like, hey, let's play Pokemon on the 3DS, do a local trade. Trade a Pidgey. I gave her the bird.
That was a good one.
I actually found a really funny Pokemon Go meme on Instagram a couple of days ago. Somebody was like playing Pokemon Go in AR mode, and a Pidgey was on the stove while this person was cooking eggs. And like, it was like two photos, side-by-side photos. First one was of the Pidgey looking at the eggs cooking on the stove. Second one was of the Pidgey staring at the player. I don't know if I should apologize or catch it.
Apologize, didn't catch it.
What are your thoughts on tutorials?
I gave mine.
It takes me not to pay attention.
I chimed in my 10. I deposited my 10 cents.
I don't see 10 cents in my hand.
I owe you.
Yeah, rain check.
Right there.
All right, so I'm just gonna come out and say it right now.
Mhm.
The answer to this next question is blatantly obvious, and I challenge all three of you and anyone in the comments below to change my mind. Greed, brand recognition, and laziness. Brent, tell us, why do game companies drop in quality?
Well, I will say this, Gear, you aren't wrong. Those are definitely three ones of them, and considering the thing, it can be a major thing. But I feel there
Game
can
Freak,
also.
it's all three.
Sorry,
With Game Freak, it's 3-1.
I know, but there can also be other ways that things can drop in quality. Two particular ones that come to my mind are this. One is that things can change as a company like continues to exist and also grow. They can gain additional like area. They can gain additional like help, employees, and all that stuff. They can also have people who leave that basically were like part of the reason that the company even like got to where it is, and with them gone, whoever takes over the reins just isn't that good, or
Mhm.
falls into ideas that fall into what Gear was saying.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, look, what's worse is when it's like a CD Projekt Red scenario.
Well, I was going to be getting to my second one is that they can also fall into quality not of themselves, but what the people that's either are above them want. You know, like a company that's under, say, like EA or other such ones can fall into that sort of thing, or shareholders and that sort of stuff. Like as you were going to say, and that was going to be one of my suggestions: see Project Red.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about what the shareholders want. I'm talking about the glitch that wiped your save data in Cyberpunk 2077, and they were pretty much like, screw you, deal with it. Because they basically gave that sort of response to like the storage glitch when the game first launched.
Yeah, which also falls into what I was saying is that eventually you can bring on people who just don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't ever know if they fixed it or not, but it's like if you know there's a glitch in your game and you refuse to fix it, it's like, one, don't cry if people pirate your game and modify it, You were asking for it.
Mhm.
Two, when people give it a bad review, don't threaten to take them down on YouTube and sue them for libel.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
flat out said you were aware of a game-breaking glitch or a save data wiping glitch, and you refused to do anything about it. You told people, boo fucking who. So they had
Only
every right. What? Yeah.
only exception I would say to that is if it was like a game breaking glitch where they literally like not that attitude that they were having, but if it was one that was saying like there's literally nothing we can do without like breaking the entire game.
And I mean, that pulls into a completely different topic for a different day, like why investors, unless they start playing video games, should shut their mouths and hand over the money, regardless of what they want.
Mhm.
But that's a topic for another day. It's like, for all the crap we give Game Freak, at least they worked to fix the Lumeo City glitch when X and Y first launched.
Mhm.
And it was as simple as don't save in Lumio City and you'll be fine. I never saved in Lumio City until the first update patch went through,
Mhm.
Mhm.
Even before the battle with Clement in the gym.
Mhm.
I always save before a gym leader. That way, the puzzle's solved. I'm standing in front of the gym leader. They want to get too uppity, I can just restart the game and start from my last save,
Mhm.
But I mean, for all the crap we give them, they at least were aware, oh, we can't have data being wiped because you save at a certain location. We
Mhm.
got to patch that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's one of the times where the big Game Freak gets credit where credit's due.
Mhm.
One of the rare occasions. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, and yeah, I feel like the Cyberpunk's, CD Projekt Red's response falls into like a category of like arrogance.
Yeah, I agree.
Because like I've seen and heard the horror stories about like the developers, like multiple ones, including some Canadian fuckwit. And I don't say that to be offensive to Canada. I'm literally calling the guy a fuckwit.
Yeah.
And just mentioning that he happens to be from Canada. But it's like, for me, it's like, you know, like they make bad games or they have like an arrogant attitude. They expect to be worshipped like gods. And then they're like, oh, I'm going to sue you if you don't promote my game, even though it's buggy, glitchy, and I'm not going to do a thing to fix it. Yeah. I mean, libel and slander are only factual examples of libel and slander if the statements can be proven factually false. An opinion is not comprised of facts. A popular opinion is just a large group of people sharing the same opinion. Still doesn't make it fact. The person says, I think this game is a broken, buggy mess and it deleted my save data, and it wasn't Eternal Darkness playing a trick on me. Okay, first off, if you can prove that the save data is being wiped from a glitch, it's not slander and libel to begin with, because you factually proved it. Second off, if you just say, I think it's a bad game, it's not slander, it's not libel. It's like, I was reading that old meme about the whole not owning your digital stuff. It was basically a book where it's like it had a quote in it. If buying isn't owning, piracy isn't stealing, then it shows Tom from Tom and Jerry, angry look, red faced. It's like that could hold true to Gabe Newell's statement about piracy as a service problem. Like, if you're going to be a company that has bad quality as a company, like, you make a good game, but you don't have the right quality, so to speak. Like, when people talk about how, like, the Mario sports titles on the Switch were lazy, unfinished cash grabs, or they just wanted to rush them out unfinished and provide the rest of the content through free updates. You know, it's like, if people are like, I'm going to pirate it just so I can play it without giving Nintendo money, it's like, piracy is a service problem. If you don't want people stealing your shit, you have to listen to them. You have to. If you choose not to listen to them, you cannot say, oh, pirates are evil. They're stealing our hard work and games by downloading them.
Yarr.
Well, you didn't listen to the feedback. You didn't take the constructive criticism seriously. In Miyamoto's case, you said everything we do is perfect, and anyone who has any negative thing to say is a hater who doesn't know a good game. I literally watched a video by a YouTuber yesterday that you know those pre-movie reels where it's like piracy is not a victimless crime. This YouTuber basically gave, and I forget his name. It was like Fact Guy something or other. Anyway, it's like he's basically like, piracy is a victimless crime as a big fuck you to the developers who want to cop that low quality, arrogant attitude. You know? It's like, and you know, I had my issues with a lot of like glitches and problems with Steam. I mean, I still get people in China somehow logging into my Steam to view my library. They don't make any purchases. They don't mess with my settings. But every time I get an attempted login, access from another device, the IP address is always from China. What's so damn interesting about my game library? I barely get to use my Steam because gaming laptop, and Matt and I figured this out like 2 nights ago, is a literal oxymoron. Computers are always going to burn way too hot on when you play games on a laptop. It's like, end of the day, you want to play games on the PC, get a desktop, you know? You want to play them on a laptop, even if it has like top-of-the-line, high-end stuff. You're like, why is it burning like it's not meant for gaming? It's because there's no such thing as a laptop that was meant for gaming to begin with, you know? But it's like, for all the grief and issues I've given them, like Newell is a man who says wise stuff like Miyamoto, you know? There was a time when Miyamoto was a wise man before he became the arrogant windbag who needs to be kicked out of Nintendo. Like, what? 8 years ago, maybe, I'm thinking? Like around 2016-ish? Give or take? Rough start of the... Anyway, point is, like, I don't really see that level of, like, complaints about Gabe Newell from people. People are more likely to bitch about Miyamoto than they are Newell. You know? Yeah. So it's like, if companies want to be perceived as better quality companies, they need to keep up with quality standard. And again, like what you said with like investors, even if that means telling the investors where they can stuff their demands. I'll give you a hint. When it says where the sun don't shine, we're not talking about the butt side. But Danny, Matt, fight amongst yourselves. Who's going to share their thoughts first?
Well, go ahead, Danny, if you want to.
No, go on. Share.
Okay. Well, I think when a company has a quality drop, it's like when EA, like, they used to make really good games in the 90s, and then all of a sudden, like, I'd say during the mid 2000s, they just started doing lots of bad stuff against gamers and stuff like that. And it's just like,
yeah, I literally forgot the joke.
But yeah, it's just like some companies don't seem to appreciate their player base sometimes. I mean, they can still make good games and stuff. They just unfortunately have lots of bad things that go with it.
Yeah. It's like, I have to disagree with the drooling fanboys. Like, you know how there are people out there who are like, well, sales figures are the only thing that matter. If a game sells lots of copies, that means it's a good game. No. That just means that lots of people bought the game. I bought Sonic Superstars. Does that mean I like Sonic Superstars?
Nope.
I tore the game a new asshole. And I'm not the only one on the internet who have paid for the game and pretty much steamrolled it. I was watching, it might have been Splash Dash, it might have been someone else. I was watching someone on YouTube like a day or two ago. And they were going on about why Sonic Mania is considered better than Sonic Superstars. It wasn't Splash Dash. It was a game developer who's like, a game developer's perspective. He was explaining why, despite mostly rehashing old stages, why Sonic Mania performed better than Sonic Superstars. And it's because, one, was made by a company who had free reign and no supervision from Sonic Team. The other was a former Sonic Team employee whose company had supervision from Sonic Team, and they basically told Oshima, or however you pronounce, like, I only remember his first name, like, pronounced properly, Naoto. But, Arzest was told by Sonic Team, and you're never changing my mind on this, you're not supposed to care about the franchise. Just do whatever you want, and if people don't like it, too bad. Yeah. It's like, I'm going to give Sonic X Shadow Generations credit because the original game is good. And I highly doubt they can fuck it up unless they reprogram the game entirely to be something completely different from the original, thus no longer making it a remake. But I still hold my judgment for whether the Shadow storyline turns out to be good or not. The Sonic Heroes, I know it's a very polarizing game. So if the rumors of the remake eventually do come true, well, again, when you don't care, you have to stoop to Masuda ordering Ilka to sabotage the release of the development of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl to really not care about a remake.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Thoughts? Insults? Death threats?
I think if I throw an insult, it's gonna start a chain reaction.
Ah, yes. All of you coming after me, yes. Savage little beasties. Anyway, Matt,
Mm-hmm.
you're a tech guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have an interest in coding, right?
Yep.
Aren't you wondering why I'm asking you shit I already know about you?
Possibly.
Our next topic is game creation software.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about stuff like RPG Maker and stuff like that, or
Is
Mario
this because
Maker
of
2.
our Unreal Engine discussion yesterday?
Hmm?
Is this because of our Unreal Engine discussion yesterday?
Oh, no. But,
Oh yeah, that was a fun talk.
Good stuff.
All right, well, give us the goods, man.
well, I think that stuff like, say, Super Mario Maker 2,
Yeah.
they really need like more games like that for the public, because those sorts of games can really um, help get your mind going and everything, and just where you can make tons of fun different levels and everything. And I just think that if you've ever played, and also if you've ever played a game like Game Builder Garage, my cousins have that, and they absolutely love that game because they've created like games with it, and like one where you are a dune buggy and you go around and you chase little avatars of the other players and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's hilarious and it's fun.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that Nintendo should focus. I mean, not just Nintendo, but all game companies should try to get back into allowing the player to create their own things easier.
A lot of people want a Zelda Dungeon Maker.
Mm-hmm.
You'd play the crap out of that game
Which one? Dungeon Maker?
if there was a Zelda Dungeon Maker.
Oh hell yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sculpture is all around.
You're savage.
Well, I do have a fear of spiders. I do have fun. At the same time, I do have fun beating them around.
I mean, it's like if D&D, if like they could make like and say a game creation toolkit, but purely for making Dungeons and Dragons style games.
It's called source books.
Yeah, but I mean like in a
I
video
know
game.
what you mean. I know.
Yeah.
I was having fun. I mean, I'd come up with some homemade RPGs with RPG Maker if I had any good ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've seen a lot of indie games made with that software.
Mm-hmm.
I have a few of them.
I'm sure we all have a few of them at some point.
So, what do you guys think about game creation software?
Well, as long as it's easy to use and simple to understand, I think it allows just about anyone who wants to throw their 2 cents into trying to make their own games, whether it's for fun or to actually try and actually hit the game development scene and become the next big developer.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fun. It could be cool to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, if I could come up with some good ideas for like little mini RPGs and stuff, I'd totally use RPG Maker, put some stuff together.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Who knows? Maybe we'll put our heads together one day.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, what about you, Brent?
I mean, definitely agree with you on, like, at the very least, there needs to be more games that, like, give people the tools that they need for that sort of thing and to make their own thing.
Mhm.
And I mean, like, yes, there are those out there that people can learn to do that sort of thing themselves, like,
Mhm.
making small games. Like, again, as I said before, when I was still in college, one of the things I did was game design
Mhm.
because it
Game
helps you
design,
to.
video editing, printer repair. This boy did it all.
Well, I mean that sort of in the way gear is that, like, it teaches you about like coding and all that stuff, but again, it also can be used to make like incredible thing make incredible things. Like my stuff that I made is stuff that you probably would find, like the very cheapest stuff you would find on, like, say a smartphone, but
Mhm.
eventually you could do that to do something like on a massive PC, a console, that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
hmm But
Hold
yeah,
on.
you definitely need more of those because, one, it's allows people to use their creative side, and two, it can also cause people to maybe realize, hey, I want to do this for a living.
Mhm.
Mhm. Picture it. Deerfield Beach, 2010. No apologies for the Golden Girls reference. But this is way, and I'm just gonna date and age myself here, even though pretty much everybody who watches already knows I'm like 30 fucking 6. But it's like back then in the pre-Discord era, it was like AIM and Yahoo Messenger and the like were still a thing, you know.
hmm
Mhm.
I was part of a blast group on AIM where we were playing around with making our own Ragnarok Online server.
Mhm.
And I got a little bit of game coding experience by using. I don't know if it's strictly what's been used for coding RO servers or if like there's others, but Tight VNC had a kind of HTML interface, and that's what I studied in high school, went to college for, and whatnot. Even though it's pretty much like, yeah, good luck getting a job in the web field to begin with. But
hmm
asides, like so. But yeah, it was basically you had like the HTML style like bracket coding and everything. It was actually a pretty fun romp.
Mhm.
Never mind the fact that one of the server's mods was a complete screwball and damn near tanked the project.
Mhm.
That's roughly around the time I left. I was like, look, a boss man wants to talk to me. He wants me to do this. Quit encasing me in an icicle barrier and let me test the damn thing.
Mhm.
It was a bunch of good guys and everything, but it's like
Mhm.
I don't mind having fun at work. I mean, I wasn't getting paid, so it was like work.
Mhm.
But like, can we please at least try to get this server off the ground? I mean, Ragnarok Online was always a very diehard love of mine for MMO, you know?
Mhm.
And there's just like barely anything I find like I can barely keep myself in a server anymore these days because of how things go with like all the major changes that Gravity brought to the game.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. But it's like speaking of like game creation software, I'm
Mhm.
just gonna say it. I'm gonna make the first farming sim that actually gets rid of that goddamn 10 seconds equals 10 minutes clock that everyone and their brother is so fond of. And
Mhm.
instead of ruining the experience, I'm going to give it the fantasy lifestyle clock. Slow moving, leisurely. You'll have the ability to do time skips with like taking rest and stuff, you know?
hmm
Mhm.
It actually gives you more time to do things like Fae Farm, Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon, Story of Seasons, whatever. I feel like they keep flip flopping between the name, you know?
Mhm.
But it's like you can barely do anything without cheat codes to freeze time. I mean, Friends of Mineral Town gets somewhat of a pass because if you want to freeze time and get yourself together, just go into a building.
Mhm.
But after Friends of Mineral Town, every game kept the clock running while you were in a building.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's like, that's what I would do with game creation software and coding know-how. I would make a farm sim with a more leisurely clock. Not real-time like Animal Crossing, because you got to be able to skip from day to day.
Mhm.
But again, more like Fantasy Life. And, I know... Hasn't played. You played, Matt?
Mhm.
Well, you guys look up like some video footage of people playing the 3DS game through whatever crappy capture card they used.
Mhm.
Because, people like to say there's no such thing as a good 3DS capture card. So, anyway, you
Mhm.
see, it's like, so here, there's like a large bar, and then there's like a sun icon right here, right?
Mhm.
It very slowly inches forward. Not too fast, but not too slow.
Mhm.
Eventually, the sky changes to sunset, and then the sun icon changes to a moon during the nighttime hours.
Mhm.
Very leisurely, you're not on as big as a time crunch because it's more of an RPG with a life simulator, but imagine that sort of leisurely time system in a farming simulator.
Yeah,
Your
like, I
crops,
think Dragon Quest does that.
the what?
Dragon Quest is kind of like that.
Yeah, but again, more like a actual like Harvest Moon, Stardew Valley type game.
Yeah. I'm just saying that's how time advances in Dragon Quest
Yeah,
usually.
because as much as I like what little I could squeeze out of those games before I was just like, fuck this, I'm done.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, but my idea is objectively better. You know? I'm going to say that as a bold claim. The fantasy lifestyle time system, better for farming simulators. Slower? These are supposed to be relaxing games, not stressing out until your hair turns gray.
Mhm.
That's why I have gray when my facial hair grows. Fucking Harvest Moon. Actually, it's probably not, but I'm just old.
I'll quit insulting yourself.
Think of the sci-fi. Don't be surprised if rapid aging is a real thing and medical science hasn't caught up with it yet. If I die in the next 3 years and my cause of death is under mysterious circumstances and I literally just died in my sleep, you can guarantee it's because my body is older than it should be.
Probably what the tricorn would say.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Mhm.
Wait, I got it. Oh, Captain, my Captain. It's like Vulcan meets Urban Rangers. Come on, you killed to see an Ed, Ed and Eddie Star Trek crossover. Don't deny it.
That's debate. That remains to be debatable.
She doth protest too much.
Yeah. I don't see you protesting about it.
I think it'd be cool. Imagine Ed trying to scam data. Sorry, Eddie trying to scam data.
Instead of he's just scanning himself.
No, scam.
Oh, scam. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Brent's thinking about it, I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
You like what he see?
Yep.
Woo! Danny, what are your thoughts on game development software?
Game development software. I don't know much, I'm afraid, because, apparently, three y'all, I've been around more games than I have, I've only just scratched at the top, as it were.
Yeah.
So I don't know much to voice an opinion, voice an actual opinion.
What kind of game would you make?
Me,
Yes.
well, wherever I may be thinking, it's probably already. There's a good chance it's something like it's already been made.
I'll make it your own. Look at Pal World.
I guess some sort of some sort of version of a Fantasy Star.
Space action RPG.
Ain't nothing like it for infringement's sake. But something that happens in like real in like almost real time.
I mean, you got it right there, but yeah. Studio light is making me feel hot.
Thermostat is reading 81 degrees.
That should be the external temperature. If it's not the external temperature, how the hell was it raised if none of us touched it?
I haven't touched it.
Poke it. See if you can lower. Oh, you see where it says 75?
Yeah.
That should be the internal temperature.
Oh, okay. So right now.
I know you've had the living room fan off since this morning. I don't think the breeze is going to come in here though. So I guess turning any I just don't want to put it down too cold because that's murder on your electric bill.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Anyway, all right, lightning round. Somebody give me a bonus topic.
I got nothing.
Me either.
Did you know Persona 5 Tactica is still selling in stores? I literally saw it at GameStop today for $30.
Cool.
And you know how fast Megami Tensei games sell out.
Yeah.
That's surprising.
Yep.
Oh.
I give up. Well, that's the way it goes, everybody. Tune in next time when we talk about more random stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.